Victoria Ngwata. Francis.
Jeff, yeah.
It's going to stick, right?
Well, hopefully it won't be on our montage.
Right?
Still Rubadiri. Yeah.
Yes. So let's go straight to our feature of the evening. And no woman should die bringing forth life. At least that's what the world aims for. 0 preventable maternal deaths. Now tonight we focus on 2 women whose lives intersect at the Mrima Maternal Hospital in Likoni, Mombasa.
Well, their backgrounds are completely different, but both were expecting sons. What will their outcomes be? In Likoni Crossroads, Dorcas Wangira explores what it's like to deliver in the sub-county southwest of the Mombasa Island.
In our first encounter with Evelyn Wali in Mombasa, she is expectant with her first child. Evelyn, age 23, is a firstborn, and this particular delivery is important. She lives in Nairobi, but this being her first child and the first grandchild in her family, she chose to travel back to Changamwe to deliver with the support of her immediate family. She had to cross the Likoni Channel via the ferry to get to the Mrima Health Center, southwest of the Mombasa Island.
Wale ambao ni mara ya kwanza, mnyoshe mkono juu. Mara ya kwanza
ni changamoto kwa sababu hatukuji kama private, tunakuja kipublic. So inachukua muda. Kitambo tufike hapa tumekuwa kama masaa 4. Kuna venye mnaenda huku uko na mama mjamzito na mangamanga, yani hamuji kwa haraka. Kitambo tusimame tungoje feri ivuke ngambo ile tuchukue, ni muda mrefu.
What you cannot know about Evelyn at first glance is that her baby is 2 weeks late. On the expected due date, her water didn't break. She experienced no pain. At Mrima, important decisions will have to be made. There are many questions running in her mind. Will her delivery be safe? Will there be complications? Will her baby be born healthy? Likoni is in the Kenyan mainland, separated from the regional hub of Mombasa by a thin strip of the Indian Ocean, which has dredged its way inwards. Every day, the Kenya ferry services transports over 300,000 pedestrians and more than 6,000 vehicles across the Likoni Channel. Among them are pregnant women, some who are almost due or some seeking to cross over to either side. Crossing the ferry to get to the other side here in Likoni, Mombasa is one of the most definitive characteristics of this place. But when you talk about safe deliveries and birth, what does transport have to do with it? What is it like for a pregnant woman to cross over to get to the other side? And does she really have to? In the north bank of the island of Mombasa, Makadara district, is the Coast Provincial General Hospital. It is the second largest government hospital in Kenya, and it is the referral center for the entire coast region. There is also a separate obstetrics and gynecology department, combined with a renovated Millennium Labour Ward and obstetric theatres. For many women, especially those with complications, it is almost always the first public health facility of choice. Before May 2018, there were no services for emergency obstetric and neonatal care in Likoni sub-county. Expectant mothers faced the risk of complications and even losing their lives during labor, due to delays caused by a ferry crossing they had to take to access maternal services on Mombasa Island. In an emergency, the time taken to make the crossing could prove life-threatening for mothers and babies alike.
The most common complications here in Likoni are pregnancy-induced hypertension, that is preeclampsia. Preeclampsia can lead to eclampsia. We also have anemia in pregnancy, but for the obstetric complications, antepartum hemorrhage and postpartum hemorrhage. We also have obstructed labor. The most common one, which is really disturbing us, that we are working on it, is antepartum hemorrhage. And the reason being that most of the mothers are taking herbal medication to hasten the labor.
This is why MSF, Doctors Without Borders, decided to rehabilitate and expand the old Mrima Health Center in Likoni, which is now the Mrima Maternity Hospital under the county government of Mombasa. The goal was to reinforce the health authority's capacity to provide a comprehensive package of emergency obstetric and neonatal care.
Kushikwa mtoto, mnaenda kushikwa tumbo, eh?
Hannah Baya is the midwife activity manager at the Mrima facility.
We do not expect any mother to cross the ferry and to go to deliver in Mombasa Island. So if we had an ICU here, that could also be something that we could stop crossing the ferry for referrals.
Especially for those who they go on their own, like you have to alight from Mamatatu on Likoni side, then wait for the ferry, cross the other side, and it is a stretch of about 150 meters to the Matatus. It's very hectic. Some of the women used to give birth at the ferry before they get to Mombasa.
As a stopgap measure in early 2017, shipping containers were bound together at the Mrima Health Center to make a fully functional hospital complete with an operating theatre. The container village, as it was well known, became a place where many mothers could deliver their babies safely, even with complicated pregnancies. At the onset, MSF assisted around 300 deliveries a month, but when a 100-day doctor strike was followed by countrywide nurses strike in June 2017, many were left without access to medical care. The container village struggled to cope with the huge increase in patient numbers during that time. Over the course of a year, an operation theatre and a newborn unit was added, and the hospital furnished with new equipment so that women from the region could have sustainable access to sexual and reproductive health services, including family planning. In 2018, there were 6,927 deliveries in the Mrima Health Center, including 738 through cesarean section.
In a month, we have 600 vaginal deliveries, and that includes 60 cesarean section on a monthly basis. We do not have a pattern like you come and request to have cesarean section done to you. There must be an indication for a cesarean section to be done.
Evelyn's delivery process will not be easy. If she still cannot have a normal delivery, then she may just have to go to the theatre. She knows that her baby, pulsing in her womb, is a boy. But will he be born safe?
Uko ukuji, mtoto hajashuka na njia haijafunguka.
Mimi mjukuu yote ni awe wa kike au wa kiume, yote kwangu ni baraka tele. Kwa hiyo sioni kuchagua, yoyote atakayekuja ninampokea kwa furaha.
But with maternal health care, no two mothers tell the same story. Rose, aged 27, has 2 children, a son and a daughter. She and her husband had planned their family. None of her first 2 pregnancies were difficult or complicated.
Nikiwa mjamzito sijai vuka feri. Ni upande huu peke yake.
37, 38. But when she became pregnant with her 3rd child, she hoped for the best. Until one day, she started to bleed uncontrollably. Rose sought healthcare at the Mrima Maternal Hospital. In July this year, she labored 4 hours until she had to be operated on.
Kwa sababu hii situation imekuwa worse. Tujaribu kuokoa maisha yako na mtoto ama tuokoe maisha yako. Ndio sister sasa walifanya hivyo haraka. Milika hata mtoto nilimuona, nilioneshwa mtoto mvulana. Na huyo mtoto changamoto tu yenye niliona hakulia. Peleka kumfanyia pale first aid nini, alibaki tu hivyo hivyo. Kwa hiyo akapelekwa wapi? Palipa kuweka kwanza watoto kwa incubator pale.
But even after the delivery, the bleeding would not stop. She lost a lot of blood, and with only about 4 pints of blood left, the doctors made a decision that would rob her of an important part of her womanhood.
Walikata uterus. Walitoa hiyo. Sasa sikuambiwa kama imetolewa.
On the management of postpartum hemorrhage, but if it cannot be contained, so you are transfused, you are given fresh frozen plasma, they are doing all repairs on the traumas, on the tears, but the uterus is not contracting. We have a tamponade, balloon tamponade, which is usually inserted. Sometimes they do that, it doesn't help. And if there is nothing that can be done, then there is nothing else but to have the hysterectomy done. And that is a decision by a gynecologist.
The most painful blow would come for Rose when her son died.
Tukiongea hivi, mtoto ametuacha.
Rose had also developed fistula, the accident of childbirth. An obstetric fistula is a hole between the vagina and rectum or bladder that is caused by prolonged obstructed labor, leaving a woman incontinent of urine or feces or both. Her marriage had been tried and tested. Being discharged early, she tells us, didn't help make her situation easier. Rose's husband remained a caring and supporting partner. It was her children who couldn't understand at first what their mother was going through.
Choo hata nilikuwa nafanyia tu kwa nyumba, siwezi hata kutoka. Ninamshikilia, nafanya kila kitu. Malazi anafua kila saa, hapa inajaa ni zangu. Hata majirani walijua tu hizi ni za mama Isaac. Pale dustbin inajaa pampers. Niko na haya kwa watoto wangu, kwa sababu mimi mwenyewe ndio natakikana niwashughulikie hivyo, alafu anaona mama ndio yuko hivyo. Hata saa zingine wakienda skuli, saa ya kuwapeleka kwa shule, anasema mama wa wengine wako vizuri, sasa mbona wewe peke yako uko hivi?
She has since been referred to the Coast General Hospital and has had reconstructive surgery. She's slowly rebuilding her life.
Nimefanyiwa tu huu mwaka, nimefanyiwa juzi 11 tarehe 6.
Data from the National Council for Population and Development, NCPD 2019, key socio-economic demographic indicators for Mombasa County show a steady improvement in the quality of maternal health. According to the total fertility rate, 3 children would be born per woman or per 1,000. If she were to pass through the childbearing years, the maternal mortality rate in the county is at 223 per 100,000 live births. The national maternal mortality is 362 deaths per 100,000 live births. It is significantly lower than the national average.
Reduction in maternal mortality has been steady but slower, has steadily decreased but at a slower pace, from 698 in 1994 to 362 per 100,000 births, live births today. Most maternal deaths can be prevented with proper antenatal care, skilled delivery at birth, and access to emergency obstetric care.
But the sad reality is that even though there is progress, women are still dying in Kenya giving life. What has happened to Evelyn and her son?
They started inducing me at 4 a.m. yesterday, on 27th 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m. yesterday, so I had the first one at 4:30, then from 4:30 to 6:30, 6:30 to 8:30, 8:30 to 10:30, nothing, no pain, nothing. I got into the theater at around 12:25. By 12:38, the baby was out in the theater because I was so weak with the whole process.
Baby Adril Jidena was born healthy and delivered safely. The ones who have been waiting for him, including his father of Nigerian descent, are thrilled that he is here. Getting to 0 preventable maternal deaths and infant deaths may be an ambitious goal, but one which governments are working towards. The impact and trail of suffering when a mother or child dies is heavy. It may not be enough to answer exactly what it's like to deliver a child in Likoni, yet through the stories of 2 women whose lives intersect, possible outcomes are relayed. One mother had to cross the ferry, one didn't. In the same facility, one mother's son came late and survived, the other came early and did not survive. A crossroads doesn't just mean an intersection of 2 or more roads, but a point at which a crucial decision must be made, which will have far-reaching consequences. Here in Likoni, expectant women and their caregivers are constantly faced with important decisions as they give life. Dorcas Wangira, Citizen TV, Likoni, Mombasa.